Hi everyone, happy World Diabetes Day, which does sound like a bit of an oxymoron to me because let's be honest, the words happy and diabetes don't often go together, but here we are. Apologies for the late post, diabetes, and for looking rough, again, diabetes. But I wanted to just come on and share some news and some updates and just some words of advice for people on this day. So we celebrate World Diabetes Day because we commemorate the birth of Frederick Banting. He was born on the 14th of November 1891. He invented insulin and sold it to the University of Toronto, the patent for insulin, for $1 because he said, and I quote, the insulin belongs to all, not just to me. So we thank you, Mr. Banting. We have so much to thank you for because without you, none of us would be here. Also, I just wanted to share some news. I don't know if you're all aware, but in the UK, in the last week, we've had a huge development whereby NICE have introduced guidelines and recommendations for the rollout of HCL, hybrid closed loop systems, within the NHS. Starting off with 3 specific groups of type 1 diabetics who meet specific criteria, with a view to rolling it out across the board in future as they did with CGMs. So thank you to everyone that worked so hard on making that, helping that come to fruition. We're very grateful. I know I speak for type 1s everywhere when I say that, so thank you. Also, if you are worried about diabetes within yourself or a child, just something to be aware of. It is a huge problem, an ongoing problem across the world. The symptoms you can look out for, very helpful, is the 4 T's. So that is thirst, toilet, tired, and thin. So excessive thirst to the point where you just cannot quench it, just drinking all the time and just cannot seem to quench your thirst. Toilet, going to the toilet, pass urine excessively, not just because of the amount of fluid that you're consuming. In adults, that can present as getting up and going to the toilet multiple times a night. In children, that can be bedwetting. But yeah, just anything more than what is you might think is normal. Tired, again, excessively tired, exhausted, not just your normal tiredness, just cannot function. And then thin, sudden loss of weight, or, over a gradual period of time. But when you put all those together, if you have experiencing one or more of those symptoms, go to the doctor, seek medical help. Earlier the better, especially, if you're having one or more of those symptoms. It's a very quick, simple test to diagnose whether you're diabetic or not. And again, the earlier the better, because if left too long, then it can be quite horrible and scary. So keep an eye out for those symptoms. Again, for non-diabetics, there are 2 really amazing studies that are happening at the moment. One is for children between 3 and 13. It's called the ELSA study. I will post links to this. And that's just a simple finger prick for children between 3 and 13 that don't currently have diabetes. That will test them for antibodies, and it's part of a wider study to see how and why children develop diabetes, and to look at the patterns. And the Diabetes UK have just announced a similar study for adults between 18 and 70 in the UK who don't have type 1 diabetes. Again, a simple test. They're going to test for antibodies, and they're going to monitor and see the changes in people to see what happens to the body before you develop diabetes, and if there's a pattern with the people that do, and whether or not it's what causes it, basically, whether it's environmental factors, etc. So those are 2 really interesting, exciting studies that you can take part in that will not only help you guys, but it will help us as well, because it will help to help the NHS get a better understanding of what it is and how they can get a better understanding of it. Lastly, I just wanted to say that for my type 1 buddies out there, my dia buddies, if you're not already, please get on social media. There is a hashtag GBDoc on X, or Twitter as I still call it, which is incredibly helpful for peer support. I remember when I was diagnosed at 9, social media didn't exist and it was really difficult. You just feel like isolated, like, you know, an island, and no man is an island, and there is so many of us out there. And I've been told by multiple healthcare professionals that nobody understands diabetes like a diabetic. So obviously you should never take another diabetic's medical advice for gospel. You should always seek medical advice. But saying that, there is multitude of peer support out there. Just, you know, if you're feeling a bit down or you have a question, that we can't always get hold of our diabetic nurses or doctors, so it's incredibly helpful to access that peer support, to follow those hashtags, and also some amazing people in the community that are kind of dia influencers. I don't know how to describe them, but they are amazing, and I will post their links. They're people that I follow that I find incredibly helpful and inspiring. So yeah, I will post the links to the studies, the ELSA study, and the adult one is type 1 DRA, type 1 diabetes risk in adults. I will post the links to those studies and all of the people that I think you should follow for help and support. And to all my type 1 diabuddies out there, keep going. The force is strong in you. We're all in this together. Stay strong. Love you lots, and happy World Diabetes Day.